Okay, so to add a contact, I just turned the recording back on. So to add a contact in command, we're in command, in contacts, and we're going to hit add a contact to add our buyer. And this is Sam. And we can add tags to that person and see what existing tags there are. So you can totally make this person a buyer, right?
Okay, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then if you've got personal ones or ones that you've already created, you can add those. And for instance, I created a tag called Sphere of Influence. So I make everybody my sphere of influence because that's my mailing list.
Oh, okay.
So regardless of who they are, what they are, if I want to add them to my newsletter or whatever it is, I like to know who's on my sphere of influence. And then I have subcategories like buyers. Great. So we're going to create this contact. Please fix the following errors. The phone number is invalid. That's because I used a fake phone number. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to use a real phone number. There we go. And now I need to pull that person up, or I could just go straight to opportunities. Now we've got this contact in, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's go to the opportunity icon, which is the two hands shaking.
Okay.
All right, and we are going to go to up here where it says create an opportunity in the upper right.
Okay, and mine's still loading.
And so now we fill this in. Market Centers, KW Maui West. You're not on a team. The opportunity type is a buyer. You're the owner, the client,
Okay.
and now you have to put in the client's name and the client should come up. Just the last name will do.
Okay.
And I recommend you not use that opportunity name because in opportunities, it's already going to be named a buyer. So we don't need to name it that way again, but I would start it out with the address. So we have, what was it,
1450 South Kihei Road.
And then you can put comma or semicolon and then use the client's last name.
Okay.
And do I need any further custom tags? Well, I might tag mine test just because it's a test. And then do we have an estimated closing date? We do.
Yes.
And that is December 16th. And then do we have a, no, this is, it's not a time frame. None of these apply because we've got, this person's already buying, right? So we're just going to create, so we can change the opportunity phase here before we create. Do you see the lower box on the left says opportunity phase?
Yes.
And we are in, this is an active buyer.
Okay.
And then to the right of that is the opportunity stage. And now we can go into this and say, well, we are in negotiations, right? We're actually on negotiations. We've negotiated. So, but we've moved this opportunity along as far as we can here on the input page. So we create, now we create the opportunity. And when we do that, we can now see the details of our opportunity here. And we can also see the document section. Do you see that?
Yes.
So when you go to documents, what you will find on the left-hand side is that this is a residential, this is a buyer, and the question here is there are 3 tabs: consultation, under contract, and closed. The consultation tab, you can see here, has 2 slots for documents, for a buyer broker agreement or a buyer's disclosure. We're going to go straight to under contract, and you will see here that it has all of the items that appear in our transaction checklist, or that used to appear in dot loop for the contract.
Okay.
So right here is your purchase contract slot.
Yes.
So what you do is you're going to add a file, click add a file, and you can do one of 2 things. You can go to your email and download the contract that you've now received back from the seller, fully signed, fully executed, whatever it may be. And it should appear down here in your browser somewhere as having been downloaded. You could literally drag this right to here, just like that, and drop it and assign it. And now it appears right here. Isn't that fun and easy? You can also go here. Let's say you have a counter offer, which I know you do. You can also go here. You can click on this, and when you click on it, your computer browser comes up.
Okay.
And you can now go to wherever you might have saved your contract and your counter offer, if you've saved them on your computer, or maybe they're just in your downloads, and pull it in that way.
Okay.
So we go to.
And can I do more than one at a time?
No. You can only upload 1 document per slot.
Okay, I get it. That's okay. Yes, that makes sense.
However, what you can do, have you done that?
It's I drug the PC in, and I'm clicking assign, and nothing's happening.
Well, that means you're stuck again. Yeah. So I'm going to put us on pause. So great. So now let's say you pulled the wrong purchase contract, and you like, we could literally open this up right now and look at it, and you go, oh my gosh, this is the one that wasn't signed by the seller. And you go, well, I need to put in the one that was signed by the seller. You can now go to this little box right here, and we can remove this item.
Okay, so that's better than dot loop.
Yes, dot loop used to make you archive it and whatnot. This lets you actually remove an item and put in something that's correct, which is great.
Perfect.
So now we're going to go down here and say, do you have any addenda or amendments for this contract? And if you do, you can upload that. Is there a lead-based paint addendum? Is there a short sale addendum? Is there a leasehold addendum? You name it, right? All of the possible addenda that appear on the purchase contract in that list are here so that you could add it. Here is your cooperating brokers agreement. So you're going to want to definitely fill that in.
Okay, so now I have a question for you on that.
Sure.
Melanie forwarded me this morning a co-op brokers agreement from her side that signed and filled in on her section.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, and it's a PDF, and I tried to bring it up and fill out the KW side of it, and it won't let me fill it out.
Yeah, so it won't do that. So now you're going to have to, where are you doing your signing, in zip forms or in DocuSign?
I have been doing it in DocuSign. So that's what I need to do, is take the document to that.
Sure. The only way you can amend a document, right, is to pull it into another and get it signed.
Okay.
So what you can now do is it allows you to drag in text boxes.
Okay.
So wherever Melanie didn't fill it out, like I'm hoping she filled out the company name and stuff like that, but wherever she didn't fill it out, you now drag in boxes, and then you make it for me to sign.
Okay.
And then you send it to me, and I will fill in the boxes and sign it.
Okay.
Okay, great question. So that's your cooperating brokers agreement goes down here. If you did dual agency, that would go here. And then you want to upload a copy of the MLS listing right here.
Okay.
And to do that, you go into Paragon and open up the MLS listing, and it'll let you save it as a PDF. And then you just save it as a PDF and put it in your download folder, and then you can drag it in here. Okay.
Now say that again to me. I'm sorry.
In order to get MLS listing, you need to go to Paragon.
Yes.
Open up the listing.
Yes.
And save it as a PDF. It lets you save the listing as a PDF. And it says, do you want to save it here, or do you want to save it on your computer? And you say, on my computer, please. And it'll put it in your download folder, and you can just drag it into the MLS slot.
Perfect.
Which is at the bottom of this section, right?
Yes.
That's the last item here.
Yes.
Right. We're going to come back to this section and do our timeline and escrow instructions here next. But I just want to point out to you that here is the third portion of command. It's called closed.
Okay.
And here you will see all the slots in the order of the paragraphs in the purchase contract for all of the items that need to be or may need to be provided.
Okay.
You'll notice that these are all optional, right? They're not, it's not, does it even say? No, it doesn't. Never mind that. But the point is, just like dot loop used to indicate all of these slots, you don't necessarily have to fill them all. They might not apply to your contract. You only need to fill in those that do, right?
Yes.
So are you having to make an earnest money deposit, right? And is there a receipt from escrow that the earnest money deposit was made? So you want to show that. And here's the second deposit, right? And then the next portion is there an alarm system, or is there an inclusion list? If there is a vacation rental condo, often we have an inclusion list. So you would put those here, et cetera, et cetera. Here's our loan documents, right? Is there a verification of cash funds to be delivered? That goes right here. Okay. Makes sense, right? You just go add a file, you drag it from down here, and in it goes. Okay?
Cool, yes.
And all the way down until you come to the end of your transaction, and towards the end of your transaction, there are slots here that are documents that you're going to request from escrow on the day of closing.
Okay.
And those are your HARPTA, FERPTA.
Okay.
So, and it says right here, escrow. See that? It says escrow.
Yes.
So it's and escrow, all the escrow officers know that we request these. So it won't be news to them when you send them an email, say, please send me the following documents.
Okay.
So it's HARPTA, FERPTA certifications, and then the satisfaction waiver that they have people sign. And then you're going to get the final settlement statement.
Okay.
Okay. You should receive an estimated settlement statement, excuse me, because your buyer should be getting one pretty soon.
Okay.
So you should be getting a copy of that. You can fill that in down here already.
Okay.
About 10 days before closing, approximately, you're going to get a DA called a disbursement authorization. And a DA is what gets sent to you as a result of your green sheet.
Okay.
And it's going to come from the MCA, and you're going to look that over. And when you agree with everything that it says, and you say, yep, that's what I think is going to happen, that's the commission I expect, you send that to escrow, because it gives them instructions as to what to do with the commission.
Okay.
And that is the time you also want to let escrow know, how do you want to pick your commission check up, or should they deliver your commission check? Maybe you want it over in the whaler's office, and would they deliver it to the whaler's office for you?
Okay.
Okay. Or you'll pick it up there. If you don't give them instructions, they're going to send your check here to the Kahului office.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so that's, and then at the very end, on the day of closing, you would get these items from escrow and you would upload them, including the final settlement statement. And now you can also get the sold printout from the MLS of the listing and upload a sold. It's not as important that that's there for the buyer side. That's really more for the listing agent side, because when you're a listing agent, if you don't mark it sold, you get fined. So we don't give you your money until that sold MLS listing is in there, so that we're sure that you don't get fined.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of an overview and how you'll be using this. I would appreciate you uploading your command files on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Just so your file is current. The law requires your transaction file to be with the agency. And what happens is when you have an issue or a problem and your broker can't see the documents and can't see what's going on, it's really hard to help you.
Okay.
So we really appreciate it that you know, at least on a weekly basis, you get in the habit of sitting down. And actually, if you just keep command open as you've got your email going on and you've got correspondence happening with escrow and you get stuff, just drag it in, just do it. Get in the habit of just keeping your command file current.
Okay.
This is also your file, right?
Yeah.
This is also where you can most easily access and find the documents for your transaction.
Okay, that makes sense.
Great. So now that finishes our command. Oh no, one more thing before we go on.
Okay.
When you are done with this, you're going to hit, now notice here I'm in the closed section and I have not uploaded anything into the closed section. So I can't submit this to the market center. See the gray here?
Yes.
Right. But when I go to the under contract section, because I uploaded a counter offer, my submit to the market center is marked green. It's active.
Okay.
Do not submit to the market center until you are ready to have the file reviewed, which is close to closing. When you're working with me, I appreciate you submitting your file to me about 3-4 days before closing, and I will let you know what's missing, and that gives you a little time to upload those things. And then I'm going to look at your file again on day of closing when you let me know that all of your closing documents have been added.
Okay.
Okay? Unlike dot loop, command does not generate an email to your broker, so you need to let your broker know that the file has been submitted and is available for the broker to look at.
Okay.
Great. And that is your command file. And now the only other thing to show you here is that when you are, is it here? Yes. If you, if you have documents in zip forms or in DocuSign that you want to bring into the transaction, you do that right here, hitting start a transaction. And when you click start a transaction, if you've got yourself linked to DocuSign, it's going to ask you to log in. And my login here is the same.
I didn't see where you got to that because you were under.
I went right here. Go to transaction. You see that? It's right above the submit to market center, but you need to be in a file where, so you need to be in the under contract file.
Okay.
Folder, excuse me. Go to the under contract folder. And do you see go to transaction?
And I don't see that, like above the submit to MC button.
Right.
It's what I'm seeing is gray timeline next to notes.
Okay, great. So now I'm going to show you how to link, how to do this. You need to connect yourself to DocuSign so that you could pull in your documents that way.
Okay.
I'm going to do that separately, so because it's a different process. So I'm just
Okay.
going to finish this for the purposes of this video. So I'm going to log in here
Okay.
to DocuSign. And it's going to ask me, do I want to pull in documents? And I say, yes, I want to add documents to my room. So I could do that from here. New topic, or right here, I go to add and I say, I want to pull in my documents from zip forms. And it takes me to zip forms and it pulls up all of my files from zip forms.
Wow.
So if I have signed documents or even unsigned documents in zip forms, like I've created, let's say I've created the counteroffer, and I now want to pull it in here, this entire folder, I can go here and pull it in to and link it to this transaction.
Okay.
So this is what's called creating a room. So we are now creating a room, and I'm pulling this file from my zip forms into this room so that I can connect these documents with my command file. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I can add it right in there, and it says, please select a zip form location. And I want my zip form library. Excuse me, I want linked transaction, excuse me. And I want, these are all the documents that are in the linked transaction. And I want the signed purchase contract, and that's all I need. Oh, I'll take the cooperating brokers addendum too, and the as is, even though these are the ones that are not signed, and one that's a PDF clearly is the signed one.
Okay.
I'm going to pull those in, and that's how we connect. There it is. So now anytime I go into this room from my command folder, right, I go here and go to the transaction, it's going to take me to this room with these documents in it.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we can actually link what we've done in zip forms to what we're doing in command.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're using DocuSign. So one of the ways that you could use this is you can create a transaction in zip forms. You can fill it out in zip forms, or you can bring it in here and fill it out and send it for signature. Or you fill it out in zip forms, bring it in here and send it out for signature.
Okay.
And it'll be here in this room.
Okay. Wow.
Kind of lots of choices.
Yeah.
Now what's a little limiting here is ultimately you need a contract signed by both sides.
Right.
And that's not going to be in zip forms.
Right.
So ultimately you still need a contract copy that's going to come to you via email.
Right.
Right. So that's just to say that ultimately we pull things in that way.
Okay.
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 But this is how we do our rooms.
Okay.
I believe the next step in this process and why it's worthwhile is our documents that are in the intranet are ultimately going to be here, housed here somehow, so that when you want to pull a J1 approval form, you can pull it here, send it for signature, and bring it into command.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to stop our recording.